effect, they went unchecked.
Israel's prime minister levels more accusations against some passengers on the Gaza aid flotilla. The Israeli military has released the names of 5 passengers accused of involvement in terrorist activity. I'm Kimberly Helkett. You're watching Al Jazeera live from Washington. Also in the program, 2 top Afghan ministers stepped down after failing to prevent the Taliban attack on last week's peace conference. Finally, some good news from BP. The oil giant says its containment dome is catching thousands of barrels of oil from gushing into the Gulf. Well, Afghanistan's interior minister and intelligence chief have resigned over the Taliban attack last week during a national peace conference. President Hamid Karzai's office says Hanif Atmar and Amrullah Saleh gave unsatisfactory explanations for the incident. About 1,500 delegates were assembled for the peace jirga when rockets landed nearby. Taliban fighters then engaged in a gun battle with security forces near the venue. Well, joining us to talk more about this is Masood Aziz, a former Afghan diplomat who was a senior advisor at the embassy here in Washington. Talk to us a little bit about what top U.S. officials are calling, in terms of these resignations, most unhelpful. The timing does seem unusual for all of it. What do you make of it? Is it the explanation we're being given for the mishandling of security surrounding the peace jirga, or is it more than that?
Well, it's difficult to assess exactly why the resignation now. It seems like it's announced that it's because of the peace jirga incident. Although the peace jirga incident was handled, the people were arrested, some that were killed, and apparently there were more insurgents involved. Those were arrested by the interior minister, by the police. So it seems like you're correct. This is perhaps a broader issue. And in that sense, an indication of more to come.
Is it signaling division within the inner circle and the inner ranks in terms of policy? That's
a possibility. Both Minister Atmar and Mr. Saleh were seen as very effective individuals in the work that they were doing, uniquely qualified. They had very good relationship with the coalition forces. Those relationships are developed over time. And because institutions are missing in Afghanistan, it's important to have effective individuals that are running this. So they were really seen as very closely working with the coalition, with the U.S., with NATO. So this is really a setback in a way, both for the Afghan government and the coalition efforts there.
Do you think that perhaps their relationship and close ties with the United States has somehow had a negative impact, and that may have led to the decision?
I'm not sure if that's the case, but in the past, between Mr. Karzai and Mr. Atmar and Mr. Saleh and Mr. Karzai, there's been some disagreements. To some extent, some of those disagreements are normal. But there's also this issue with the peace jirga that happened recently, where one of the first issues Mr. Karzai wanted to pursue is to release some of the Taliban that are in prison now in Afghanistan. And there might be some disagreement with Mr. Saleh about that. That was expressed in the past. So there's a possibility of that, and perhaps that incident sort of pushed the issue over. Nevertheless, this is a critical moment, and if we've just lost apparently effective individuals in the Afghan government, they would need to be replaced very quickly with as effective, if not more effective, individuals in the Afghan government, which at the moment is not fully constituted 6 months after the election. So this is
right. There are 11 vacancies right now that require parliamentary approval. Exactly. Now there are 2 more.
That's exactly right. So 6 months, 7 months after the elections, the full government is not formed. But not only that, but they need to be formed with very effective, legitimate, and strong leaders. And that's what we need in the midst of this entire effort by the coalition forces. So I see this as a setback at the moment. I'm hoping that the replacements of these individuals will be individuals that the coalition forces and the Afghan people and the Afghan government can work with very closely.
Masood Aziz, we appreciate you joining us and giving us your insights. Thank you.